He's always remembered his experiences in the past very vividly, so vividly that he has refused to talk about them out loud. And it has been a problem in his family. Into this situation comes a young woman from England, and she encourages him to find a way to speak about something that he's never spoken of before. And that becomes the play. His memories become the action of the play, filled out by the 31 actors of the fourth line stage. So that's what the story is about, old Peter's memories and how they are fleshed out by the actors on the stage.
I'm playing Emma Ross. So she's a young WD nurse from Canada, goes over during the war, and she meets this man, Peter Benton, who's the lead actor in the whole play. And they fall in love, but she isn't really willing to go there with him. She was initially engaged to another soldier who dies 2 days after she arrives. And at the time, because they were so scared, everyone was so scared all the time, they saw everything as luck or lack of luck. So she becomes this unlucky person, and all the women say, oh, you'll have bad luck if you date her. So she starts to believe it about herself, and so there's this conflict within their relationship. She won't really let it happen, but they fall in love anyways. And you'll just have to come see what else happens. But I love her because she's a very intelligent, able, beautiful woman. Like, compared to Peter, she's actually a bit more realistic. He's kind of the dreamer, and she wants them to stay on task and be realistic about the war, and she's pretty amazing. She's pretty resilient.
My character is Danny O'Neill. He is on the older end of the spectrum of the show. He's about 25 years old. He plays the best friend to Peter, who is our story's hero, and so he kind of provides the comic relief in a hard time, which is the hard time being World War II. It's interesting. So, speaking about learning, David Ferry and our director and Kim Blackwell has really encouraged a lot, and we've done a lot of great research on the show. So what was interesting was that Canadians were seen kind of as a very funny bunch, actually, which was in contrast to the Brits, who were a bit more stoic, a bit more serious, and the Americans who came a bit later. The Canadians were kind of this, to put it generally speaking, kind of a fun bunch, which I think David Craig has kind of captured quite perfectly here.
I am Margaret, who is an emergency room nurse in her early 60s with a father that she is looking after full time. Her mother is gone, and her father is really grumpy. She's grown up in a house that she felt like she was a failure, and she doesn't realize why her father is treating her like that. And through this really epic play, she understands that he suffers from PTSD, and I really understand this story. I know my grandfather was this man, and so it's really wonderful to explore this story physically and be able to have some answers when there weren't answers when my grandfather was still alive. Yeah.
One of the things I love about the play too is that in the beginning we're looking at the Canadians and the British, and then later on we actually get an opportunity to check in with the German side a little bit, and there's a lot of parallels. And so we really get to see that there wasn't that much difference. Like there was a mentality, there wasn't some experience, but the experience of the war intrinsically is the same. Everyone's hurt by it. Everyone, by the end, was left kind of feeling like, what's the point? Why? Everyone got bombed, everyone had death, and everyone was changed. So I think that's the biggest thing to take away, is that humans are humans, whichever side you're on. And the fact that this love story was so challenged by the war and kind of fated by the war is really sad. but hopeful at the same time that the love persisted through this horrible, horrible thing. I just hope everyone in the area comes to see it. I think it's a beautiful story, and I think we're going to tell it really well, and we're excited to share it.